All right, if you're in B2B marketing, you pretty much live and breathe on LinkedIn, right? But here's the thing, the playbook for how to win there is changing, and it's changing fast. The strategies that got us results yesterday, well, they're already starting to feel a little bit stale. So let's dive into what it really takes to succeed on LinkedIn come 2025. So let me just ask you straight up, is your strategy actually ready for what's coming next? If you feel like your campaigns are kind of losing steam or the engagement just isn't what it used to be, trust me, you are not alone. There's a huge shift happening under the surface, and it's changing the whole game. And that's really the heart of it. The old ways of doing things, that broad, almost spammy outreach and the generic corporate content, they're just losing their punch. Success in 2025 is going to demand a totally new way of thinking. So let's break down exactly what the shift looks like. We're going to get into the new rules for targeting, for content, and for how you build real, genuine trust. And I'm not talking about little tweaks here and there. We're talking about fundamentally rethinking your whole approach. First up, and this is probably the biggest change of all, the spray and pray era is officially over. The new rule is all about precision. It's not about finding the most people anymore. It's about finding the exact right people. The best way to think about it is like this. We're moving away from casting this giant, wide, generic net and just hoping for the best. The new way is much more like a surgical strike. It's super data-driven and it's focused 100% on the quality of the connection, not just racking up a huge quality of contacts. So how do you actually do that? Well, it goes so much deeper than just looking at job titles now. Smart marketers are layering all this data. They're targeting specific industries, they're filtering by company size, and this is the crucial part, they're using intent signals that literally show when someone is actively in the market for a solution. And of course, it's all powered by AI analytics to find that signal in all the noise. And this idea of precision, it bleeds right into your paid ads, which are getting way more sophisticated. It's not about a single ad blast anymore. No, it's a whole multi-step journey. You start with building broad awareness using sponsored content. Then you nurture that interest with things like engaging videos or live events. And only then do you drive action with super targeted lead gen forms and smart retargeting campaigns. And look, here's the financial reality that's driving this whole shift. The average cost for just one click on a LinkedIn ad is somewhere between $6 and $9. I mean, think about that. At that price, every single click has to count. You literally can't afford to waste budget on audiences that aren't a perfect fit. Efficiency isn't just a goal anymore. It's a financial necessity. Okay, so you've found the right people. Great. Now, how do you actually connect with them? This brings us to the second massive shift. We've got to move away from that faceless corporate broadcasting, because at the end of the day, people on LinkedIn want to connect with other people, not just a company logo. This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I mean, just think about your own LinkedIn feed for a second. Are you more likely to stop and engage with a super polished corporate update or an authentic, maybe even slightly raw, insight from a real person? Yeah, the answer is pretty obvious, and it's completely reshaping B2B marketing. And that right there is the power of what we call employee advocacy. It's all about empowering the actual people inside your company, your experts, your team members, to be the voice of your brand. They become these incredible, trusted ambassadors whose insights carry so much more weight than any corporate message ever could. And you don't just have to take my word for it. The data on this is crystal clear. A standard corporate post? Yeah, it builds a little bit of trust. A post from a C-suite executive? That does a bit better. But a post from a regular employee, a peer who's on the front lines, that carries the most trust. It just feels more authentic, more relatable, and way more believable. All right, let's recap. Precision targeting gets you in the door. The human approach builds that initial trust. But what do you actually say? This brings us to our third pillar, the evolution of the content itself. Because let's be real, the game has moved way, way beyond just dropping text posts and links into the feed. The content that is truly earning people's attention and driving real engagement, it's more dynamic, more valuable, and way more interactive than ever before. So what's actually cutting through the noise right now? Well, first, short-form video. And I'm not talking about slick commercials. I mean authentic insights, quick how-tos, or a peek behind the scenes. Second, expert thought leadership posts that offer a genuine and sometimes even provocative point of view. And finally, formats that actually build a community, like LinkedIn newsletters that go straight to your subscribers and live events that let you interact in real time. So if you were to map out a winning content mix for 2025, it might look a little something like this. And just notice, a whopping 70% of this is dedicated to video and thought leadership. The focus is not on pushing products. It's about providing real value, sharing expertise, and building a reputation as a trusted resource your audience can't live without. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, right? We've hit on the three major shifts: that move to precision targeting, the absolute necessity of the human connection, and creating content that's actually driven by value. So now, let's tie it all together into a clear, actionable strategy you can start thinking about today. Here's the playbook, boiled down to 4 simple rules. 1. Obsess over the quality of your targeting, not the quantity. 2. Empower your people. They are your brand's most authentic voice. 3. Shift your content. Make it about value-driven video and genuine thought leadership that helps your audience. And 4. Blend the best of both worlds. Use high-tech, data-driven ads, but always pair them with a high-touch, human approach. It's about being both smart and authentic. And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. It's easy enough to make sure your company has a nice-looking page and a logo on LinkedIn. But in 2025, that's just table stakes. The real question is, are the people behind your brand, are you, truly present? Because that right there is where the real connection and the real success is going to happen.